A queen's desperate note vanishes in the rain. 48 hours later, heads roll. This isn't fiction, it's the spark that beheaded France. If a lost email could end your career, imagine what it did to a throne. Watch to see the madness unfold. Envision the gilded halls of Versailles in mid-July 1789, where crystal chandeliers flicker like dying stars over a court rotten with whispers and want. Bread prices have tripled. Riots simmer in Paris streets, choked with the stench of unburied poor. And King Louis XVI, that indecisive giant, hovers on the edge of catastrophe. Enter Marie Antoinette, the Austrian transplant turned scapegoat queen, her porcelain skin masking a spine of steel forged in Habsburg fires. At 33, she is no longer the frivolous dauphine of diamond scandals, but a mother of four, clawing for survival amid seditious pamphlets branding her Madame Deficit. She knows the mob's hatred boils from empty bellies, not just her Hameau playhouse, and on July 11th, as Finance Minister Jacques Necker falls to conservative knives in the King's Privy Council, she pens a frantic missive, not a plea for mercy exactly, but orders for emergency grain shipments from royal stores to quell the Paris famine, laced with her urgent whisper to recall Necker before the powder keg ignites. Loyalty or life, which would you choose in the mob's shadow? Sealed with trembling wax, the satchel sails into the dusk, borne by Jacques, a weathered courier of 40, low-born son of a Provençal vintner who traded vines for the king's erratic payroll. Jacques, anti-hero from tapestry tales, he's everyman frayed at the edges, his cloak threadbare from years dodging highwaymen on the rutted road from Versailles to Paris. A Protestant in Catholic courts, he'd survived by silence, ferrying secrets that could topple dukes or save harvests. That evening, thunder cracks the sky like divine rebuke, turning the royal highway into a quagmire of sucking mud and splintered oaks. His mare, faithful Bess, stumbles on a root slick with deluge, pitching Jacques into the torrent, satchel flying like a wounded bird into brambles thick as intrigue. He claws it free, heart hammering, but the flap tears, letters sodden, ink bleeding like accusations. Worse, espionage paranoia grips the Couriers Guild, whispers of royal spies tampering with dispatches to sabotage reform. Unbeknownst to Jacques, a rival courtier, one of the Queen's own circle, jealous of her sway, had slipped a forged addendum into the pouch days prior, twisting her grain orders into vague delays, ensuring the relief wagons stay harnessed in barns. Jacques remounts, cursing the gods, but the storm swells, forcing a detour through bandit-haunted woods, his lantern sputtering against sheets of rain that drown any hope of speed. 48 hours. That's all it takes for whispers to become war cries, for a queen's ink to curdle into guillotine oil. Feel the ripple build, layer by layer, as absence breeds anarchy. The satchel arrives in Paris on July 13th. Too late. Its contents muddled by water and malice. The grain orders garbled into nonsense that mocks the starving. Tavern talk ignites like tinder, bakers' wives clutching empty sacks, murmuring of royal hoarding, while Versailles feasts on pheasant. Confirmation bias surges. Every soul convinced the court plots their doom, groupthink weaving a noose from rumor alone. By noon, the Palais Royal pulses with 10,000 voices. Camille Desmoulins leaping onto a table, pistol aloft, shouting of imminent massacre by Swiss mercenaries massing at the gates. Without that mud, no spark to the riots of July 12th, no sacking of customs houses for arms, no bourgeois militia swelling to 48,000 by dusk. Freeze frame this. Picture the what if, the satchel swift as a swallow. Necker reinstated. By the 12th, grain wagons rumbling into markets, bread queues shortening before they snap. But wait, the real saboteur, that forged twist in the letter, it wasn't mere rain, it was a courtier's blade in the dark, a grudge from the diamond necklace affair 2 years prior, where the Queen's name was dragged through scandal mud to shield greater thieves. The shouts crest to a roar on July 14th, dawn breaking blood red over the Seine. 5,000 strong, the crowd raids the Invalides for 30,000 muskets, then wheels cannons toward the Bastille, that squat fortress of forgotten screams, symbol of lettres de cachet that silenced foes without trial. Governor Delaunay, 82 invalids and a handful of Swiss guards barricaded within, fires warning shots. But the mob smells weakness, surging like a biblical plague. Barrels of powder, transferred there for safekeeping just days before, become the prize. And when Delaunay parleys through a porthole, offering white flags for safe passage, the forge in the satchel echoes in the chaos, his plea twisted by messengers into royal defiance. Cannonballs shatter stone, grapeshot rakes the courtyard, 98 attackers fall, but the drawbridge crashes down by 5 that afternoon. Delaunay dragged through streets, his head on a pike, parading like a grotesque scepter. The Bastille yields 7 prisoners, 4 forgers, 2 lunatics, 1 aristocrat, but it's the myth that liberates, the key to every cell flung wide in the public square. That delay didn't just loose gunpowder, it unchained the Third Estate's fury, birthing the National Guard under Lafayette, forcing Louis to don the tricolour cockade 2 days later in a humiliation that echoes still. And oh, the storm unleashes hell's full symphony. News races to Versailles on the 15th, panic gripping the court as market women sharpen fish knives, vowing to fetch the king's head in a basket. Louis recalls Necker on the 17th, but the dominoes tumble unchecked, the great fear rippling through provinces. Feudal dues torched in chateau fires from Brittany to Provence. Inequalitys metrics stark as a guillotine's edge. Fuel it all. The Third Estate's taxes crushing peasants, while nobles sip champagne. A disparity that metrics from Necker's own compte rendu exposed but couldn't mend. Parallels scream across centuries. The Russian Revolution's bread queues mirroring Paris, Lenin's agitators echoing Desmoulins, and today, social media's viral panics, where a delayed tweet can topple regimes or spark insurrections. History's original viral outrage cycle, where one tampered dispatch hacks the crowd's psyche, turning famine whispers into guillotine choirs, educating us that mobs aren't monsters, they're mirrors of unmet needs. That lost letter, it's why revolutions still simmer in your feed, why a glitch in the system can cascade to chaos. Mind exploded, rethinking your inbox yet? Like if you're hooked on these fragile threads, subscribe for episode 3's apple that birthed science's apocalypse. And drop a comment. What's your delayed dream that's haunting you? We read everyone. Your stories shape the storm.